¿Qué onda, locos? So, I decided to watch Miss Bala 2011. And needless to say, it's a lot different than Miss Bala 2019. These two are not even close. They should not even be titled the same thing. One is directed by a genius. The other one is directed by the girl who directed the Twilight movies. What can I say?
Say it.
Vampire.
During the time I was doing this movie review, actually it was a few days ago, that El Chapo's son was released by the Mexican government. Some news agencies are even coming out and saying that Ivan was also released by the Mexican government, which is actually what caused the disruption. Was the fact that Ivan was let out, and so he got on the gang and tried to send attack forces to get Ovidio back. Mexico's former foreign minister, Jorge Castañeda, blatantly states that the Mexican government should make a deal with the cartel.
Sounds like is give up.
No, not give up. Reach some sort of understanding with the cartels, which is what has been going on in Mexico and in Colombia and in many countries for the past 50 or 60 years. Americans want to stop drugs entering the United States? Stop them on the U.S. side of the border.
I don't want to delve too deep into the news, currently at this time, since it's still kind of developing. So let's go back. Miss Bala 2011 tells the story of Lara Zuniga. Lara Zuniga was Miss Sinaloa 2008. She was associated with Angel Urquiza, who was then at the time called her boyfriend. Angel was said to work with the Juarez cartel, and if you're familiar with the Juarez cartel, they are as ruthless as they come. Laura was actually not arrested for anything, so she only spent about 40 days under arrest.
$53,000 en efectivo, 2 rifles AR-15, 3 pistolas, 633 cartuchos, 16 celulares. ¿Tú sabías eso?
No.
There are a few differences between the movie and real life. One of the major differences is that the movie takes place in Baja California, whereas in real life, it's Culiacan, Sinaloa. The main character's name in the movie is Laura Guerrero. She wants to join the beauty pageant, so her and her friend Suzu try to join. And I really think the actress actually looks a lot like Lara Zuniga. Laura has a best friend named Suzu, who looks just like a normal fresa with highlights. Laura gets accidentally involved in the gang La Estrella when she goes to a nightclub to try and meet up with her friend Suzu. The gang forces her to kind of be a mule, so they tape on money onto her stomach. That being said, Gerardo Naranjo, when he directed this movie, he wanted a more innocent perspective towards the concept of the drug dealer. So instead of seeing the normal dichotomy of good and bad, or the deontological approach of that is extremely bad, I'm not doing that any bad I'm not doing, you do see a sort of blurred lines between the two, and there are moments when you don't know who the bad guy really is. So you don't really know who is good or who is evil. Suzu's friends look like, pimps or party animals. They look evil. There are some times where the gang members even look good because they're showing a lot of sympathy for Laura. But the police seem evil, That being said, it's not extremely out of the way to assume that some police members are corrupt. But then there's things like the beauty pageant that are also rigged, and they're rigged with the drug dealers and the general.
Laura, hubo una confusión. Ya te registré, aquí está tu número.
And they also seem evil, so it's very confusing. And it's not the first time that the beauty pageant in Sinaloa has been insinuated with the concept of them working together with the gangs. And eventually, towards the end of the movie, Laura gets caught. And she gets caught because she rats out to the general, telling the general that they're going to catch you, they're going to hurt you. She did this because she finds out that her friend Suzu's dead, which is kind of predictable. But if you see on the 2019 version, you'll kind of get a whole opposition to this movie. The whole concept of Lara Zuniga and Lara Guerrero is of a lost cause. She feels like, well, Suzu's gone, what am I supposed to do now? So she rats out the gang. She cared for Suzu the most. So the general eventually captures her and they free her in some random location. It kind of did remind me of the whole Chapo storyline, them releasing Ivan according to some news stations. Well, I hope to do a longer review on the two movies and their differences. I began writing a double review, between the two, but found that my notes for the 2019 version were 3 pages long right away. And so I just decided I'll do a longer review in a few weeks. and just compare the two side by side, but even more so, try to get where it went wrong. You know, Gerardo, the way he directs the actors into, for your understanding, to see someone like Lino in the same concept, it doesn't function if you use him as a hero. So, right off the bat, the first thing I got from the 2011 version was you don't know anything about these characters. You know, Lino just jumps into her life and pretty much swoops her in, but kind of locks her into the gang. Versus the 2019 version, I sense Stockholm Syndrome right away. Now, there was this weird ambiance of her boyfriend and how she kind of longed for him and she hoped he was good.
Are you afraid?
No.
And this, you don't see this with the 2011 version. So I don't want to go too deep into it, but definitely I will do a longer review on the 2019 version. I think that the 2011 version removed all these overzealous characteristics we see in drug lord movies. One of my favorite movies is Blow, but I think it's a little idealized towards George Young's life. It makes you wish you were there. And this movie, it kind of gives you the gritty understanding of a cartel. There were even moments when I felt like Laura in the movie. There's a moment where Laura is coming back into Mexico and she's driving the car and the police are shooting into her car. And so she gets scared and she ducks down and she covers her head. And I actually found myself ducking down and covering my head at certain times. You know, you find that the nightmarish things you would see in real life show up in this movie. That scene actually looks exactly like something out of the Shootout with Chapo's son. Looks exactly like that. So I hope you guys actually do get a chance to watch Miss Bala 2011. It's an amazing movie. I think it's definitely underrated, and I was kind of disappointed with what they did to it in 2019. Not too surprising though. So, otra vez, I'm Mexican Chuy, and hasta mañana, locos.
Nada por la fuerza.